Oh, hello. Today we are doing a book haul, and this is kind of my birthday book haul, I guess, because there are things in here relating to the fact that it was my birthday and I got gifts, which was very lovely and kind. A lot of collection-y type things, or things that I got because I wanted to have a copy of them. So I've actually read a lot of these things that we're bringing in. So yeah, I guess without further ado, we can just hop on in. Let's start with things that people sent to me. So I actually got a number of book-related birthday gifts. And by the way, if you see some vibration, it's because Hastings is rubbing up on this tripod and purring his little heart out, which is very sweet, but not very convenient right now. Hey, buddy, could you not? Thank you. I did get a number of book-related item kind of things. So first, I'm not going to show you all of them, but each of my ladies in the Witchlands group chat sent me something book-related, so I thought I'd just show you one thing from each of them. But first of all, Leanna sent me like a lovely little box full of lots of bookish goodies, all of which made me smile. My favorite has been this Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy wood wick candle from Alchemy and Ink, and it just smells, oh my gosh, Hastings. You're killing me, buddy. These kitties, I love them, but they also pick the most inconvenient times to need attention. So anyway, this smells absolutely lovely. I've been burning this a lot, and I don't know that I've ever had a wood wick candle before, so that's been exciting to explore. But yeah, so a little Pride and Prejudice themed candle. Speaking of Pride and Prejudice, my mom sent me a few things from Lit Joy Crate, which I've never gotten before, but I am totally gonna explore some of their classics related swag. So these are notebooks that are all Pride and Prejudice art. They are absolutely gorgeous. And she also sent me a vase that I've been using as a bookend for Wuthering Heights. And look how beautiful this is. Apparently they're gonna have a Jane Eyre one come out sometime this fall, and I'm totally gonna get that one so that I have like matching bookends. For right now I'm just using it to store some watercolor brushes, but yeah, totally beautiful and very, very me. Speaking of bookends, my friend Amanda sent me these absolutely beautiful geode bookends, and she knew that I just redid all of my shelves, and she thought that I could use some fancy bookends for my fancy new shelves. So very, very appropriate gift, very timely, and I have been enjoying these on my shelf. And then my friend Bethany sent me a few kind of collector type books, but the most exciting one was this hardback collector's edition of Irish Thoroughbred by Nora Roberts, which is the first book she ever published. Beautiful, and I'm very thankful that she sent this to me because I am very excited to have it. So a nice little, very timely present considering that Irish Thoroughbred was also on the bingo board for reading Roberts. So lots of very thoughtful presents from people who know me well. Then I got a few books sent to me. So first of all, for Literati, I had Last One Out, Shut Off the Lights for the July book club pick for Jasmine Ward. And I haven't read this yet. I'm actually gonna save this for something I have coming up in the fall, but I'm excited to get to this. It seems like it's sort of short stories from kind of a point of view of poor people in Louisiana. So I think that this will be a really interesting collection, and I love short stories, so I'm excited to get to this. And then the August pick is going to be Pierre and Nessie by Susanna Clark, and this is the Joseph Campbell Foundation pick, and that is the book club I moved to for August. So I'm really excited to read this. I heard great things about it when it came out. I just didn't get around to it. I've never read Susanna Clark, but it seems like a nice little one to kind of get started with her on. So those are from Literati. And then Berkeley also sent me a finished copy of For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing, which I really enjoyed. This has one of the most deliciously hateable characters I've read in quite a while, and very satisfying to read, so I'm happy to have this finished copy. And they also sent me these cute, it's set at like a, so this is a, I should tell you what this one is about. This is about elite school and teacher named Teddy who has gotten Teacher of the Year, and he just thinks he knows what's best for everyone. And then we also have some murders happening and shenanigans ensue from there. I think this is one you should go in pretty blind and just let it unfold. But I really, really enjoyed it. I think I gave that one 4 stars. And they sent me some kind of themed marketing materials around Belmont Academy, which is where this takes place. So this is like a little newsletter, the student newspaper, a little note from the headmaster. So anyway, all in all, I thought that was super cute and I really enjoyed that book. So thank you to Berkeley for sending me a finished copy of it. Okay, and then we've got a stack of books I've not yet read that I added to my collection. I do want to take this moment to note, I was looking at some stats for my overall TBR / collection for the year, and I have a net addition of 30 books so far this year to my TBR in terms of books I haven't yet read that I've added to my TBR, which is the lowest it has been in 7 years. So if I continue on this trend, I'm gonna be crushing it for the year in terms of not exponentially growing my TBR. I've had a lot of books I've been buying that I've already read that I want in my collection, and I've also just been doing a lot of challenges that compel me to read from the books that I own. So anyway, just wanted to mention that before we look at all these books I bought that I've not yet read. So first of all, I did have a pre-order for the latest Kara Thompson book, which was called That Weekend. And this is a YA thriller that I believe is set at a remote lake house, and there's like murderousness. 3 went up to the mountain, but only 1 came back. So I really love Kara Thomas's writing and how she does YA thrillers. I like an isolation trope. I'm guessing that this is gonna work really well for me. Then I saw Books and Lala talking about the short story collection called Love Beyond Body, Space, and Time, an Indigenous LGBT sci-fi anthology, and she just sold the hell out of it. And I think this will come in handy for a thing I'm doing later this year. And it just sounded like a type of short story collection that I have never read. She said I think it's her favorite or one of her all-time favorites, so she just sold me on it. So I picked up a copy of it. Then I picked up a copy of Neon Gods by Katie Robert. This is a new contemporary romance that is a Hades Persephone retelling, and it has been going all over the place on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok. So many people have been reading and enjoying this that I kind of just want to see what the hype is about. I have read a couple of things from Katie Robert before, and I enjoyed them, but I wouldn't say that I like loved them, but very intrigued. So we'll see how I do with this. And then you guys know that I am trying to read every Nora Roberts book that there is, and there was a new bind up I saw at Target the last time I was there. This has Mind Over Matter and Lawless in it. So I picked this up. This is sort of like a slightly higher quality mass market, but I figured it might be nice to have a couple of her books in physical copy when I can get my hands on them. So I grabbed this. And then I picked this up on recommendation from Nalini Singh. So I did an interview with Nalini Singh on my podcast. I also cross-posted it to YouTube. So if you are interested, I have that interview up on the channel. Also, can you see Hastings scaling the chair? Good Lord. Okay, what was I saying? Yes, so she recommended Crystal Soldier by Sharon Lee and Steve Miller as what she thinks of as being the closest read-alike title to the Side Changeling series. So we will see, Kitty. So we will see if I agree that this is a close read-alike for Side Changeling, but if the queen of the world herself says she thinks this is the closest read-alike, I figured I wanted to give it a try. Then my last 2 new ones I've not read yet are very random. So first of all, Surrender Your Sons by Adam Sass. I saw this sold as YA horror at a conversion camp, and that just seemed like a super cool premise. So I don't really know much about this, but I was pretty much just hooked on the premise. It says his SAT scores bombed, the old man he delivers meals to died, and when he came out to his religious zealot mother, she had him kidnapped and shipped off to a secluded island. His final destination, Nightlight Ministries, a conversion therapy camp that will be his new home until he changes. But Connor's troubles are only beginning. At Nightlight, everyone has something to hide, from the campers to the converted staff and cagey camp director, and it quickly becomes clear that no one is safe. I just thought that sounded like a really cool premise, so we'll see how I do with this one. Okay, my memory card filled up. Hastings is like ruining my office. I don't know what's going on. This feels like a mess. But I think I left off where I was about to tell you about Gin Patrol on the Purple Line by Deepa Anapara. I just have seen this recommended so many times over the years, and I was looking at a list of great mystery debuts in the last few years. I say over the years, this may have come out last year, but I've just seen this mentioned a lot. Oh yeah, this one did come out last year, but it got a lot of hype when it did, and then I was reading this article where it was talking about great mystery debuts of the last few years, and this one was like towards the top, and it just made me want to pull the trigger. So it says, in a sprawling Indian city, a boy ventures into its most dangerous corners to find his missing classmate. So I kind of like to go in these types of books pretty blind, so we'll find out what it's like when I get into it, but high hopes for this one. And then I'll mention this, and I won't really get into it, but I'll just say that these 4 books I got for a video that I am working on. So I will be getting into these over the next couple of months. So we'll see how that goes. I do enjoy, all of these have beautiful covers. This one is probably my favorite, but that has a lovely cover, that has a lovely cover, that has a lovely cover, and that has a lovely cover. I just have to say, I feel like the UK has far superior cover design than what we have here in the States, but what you gonna do? Okay, and then this last stack are things that I either bought and already read or were coming into my collection as collection books. So, I'm running out of space. I bought too many things. Okay, so I bought and read The Black God's Drums by P. Djeli Clark. This was the last P. Djeli Clark novella I had not yet read. So, read and enjoyed this. It was good. I think I gave this 3.5 stars. Not my favorite from him, but I pretty much like anything he writes, so this was a success. A pre-order came in that I had already read, and that was Last Guard by Nalini Singh. I got this as a digital ARC, and this is the hardback for my collection. It's the latest Psy Changeling book. I literally have a podcast about Psy Changeling, so of course I picked this up. Then I picked up a few speculative romances that are independently published, and I have been buying more of these recently to, I don't know, I like having the physical copies of them when I'm referring to them, and also I just like supporting these authors in a different way. So I picked up Bridget's Bane by Ruby Dixon, which is not the latest Ice Home entry, but the second latest, and I just love this because this was Blue Alien Couples Therapy. I thought that was a really hilarious setup that she actually made surprisingly poignant, so I enjoyed that. This one was just really inexpensive. I think this was $6, and I really like this novella. This is Ice Planet Holiday, and this is where Claire gets out of her abusive relationship with Beck before he goes on a journey of self-discovery and becoming a better person. But anyway, so this one is cute. And then Krampus and the Crone by Honey Phillips. This is definitely my favorite Honey Phillips I've read so far, and I just love that this is a really fun take on a Christmas novella, but like the sci-fi romance version. So I just thought this was super cute. So those were some speculative romances I'd already read that I picked up. Then my pre-order of the Adventure Zone, The Crystal Kingdom came in, which I have already read. The Adventure Zone is one of my all-time favorite podcasts, at least that first arc, and I have really enjoyed the graphic novel versions that have been coming out consistently for the last few years, and we still have a few to go. But this is one of my favorite arcs in the podcast, so it was very fun to see that visualized on the page. Then I picked up a finished copy of The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This is one of my favorite thrillers of the year so far. This is just super fun. It's a take on a slasher kind of story, serial killer, and yeah, it's just super fun. Really enjoyed this. I think I gave this 4.5 stars. It's not the most like plausible plot, but I think it's a lot of fun. So if you just kind of go with the ride, I think it delivers. And then there is a trade paperback version of Act Like It now available by Lucy Parker, and this is one of my all-time favorite contemporary romances, so I'm just excited to have a physical copy of it and not just the e-edition that I have. So yeah, this is from Carina Press, and I'm excited to see them actually put out a nice copy of this one because it is so good, and I think it's one people still recommend and enjoy. And then last but not least, I did get a new Penguin Vitae edition to my collection, and that is the Yellow Wallpaper and Selected Writings by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I have never read The Yellow Wallpaper, though I have often had it recommended to me, and I think that this may end up going on my Classics TBR for next year. But this is a yellow book for yellow wallpaper, and I just think it is beautiful as per usual. I really enjoy this particular line of penguin. I think I'm gonna do an update on my Classics TBR this year because I do think, well, not my Classics TBR, sorry, my Classics collection. I think I'm gonna do an updated Classics collection video this year because I do think with the addition of this and a few other classics I have been collecting, I think it merits it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do that towards the end of the year. So I guess stay tuned for that. But with that will do it for me on my July haul, my birthday book haul. Lots of really exciting things, lots of things that I added to my collection, which is always fun. So I think that will do it for me. So let me know what you thought of any of the books that I talked about in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I think that will do it. I hope you're having an absolutely lovely day today, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!